Hello, thank you for joining us once again. It's Catherine Colas here from Simply Hormones, and nearly always talking about menopause. And as you know, I've recently been speaking to a variety of different people about all sorts of different things, and to do with businesses as well. And I've got my second interview this morning, and welcome back to Sophie Forrest of ForrestHR. If you don't know Sophie already, she's the founder and owner of ForrestHR, a service that provides specialist HR, training for employees, and health and wellbeing services for business of all sizes. And today we're going to focus on her health and wellbeing services, because I know she's been working hard over the last year to put together a program that would appeal to her clients and others. To help with not only the HR services, obviously, but to keep the staff in a healthy prospect too. So welcome once again, Sophie, and tell us more.
Yes, so over the last sort of year or so, we've been piloting this the program, and there's sort of two elements to it. We have the first part, which is the introduction to health and wellbeing, and what that is, that program is a sort of 10 to 12 week program approximately, and it consists of interviewing with the senior management and owners of the business, getting their feedback on health and wellbeing, what they do currently, what they'd like to improve on, new initiatives that they've heard other companies doing that they'd like to implement. And then from there, we're going to do an employee engagement survey with their staff. So that's going to be similar types of things like what we've had in the interview, but in a lot more detail, to really get the staff's input on the types of initiatives and workshops and so on that they would like to see occur at work. And following that, we're going to obviously review sort of everything that we've sort of consolidated and received, through those that sort of research part of it, and then we tie that up in a findings report, and in that findings report we'll be providing our recommendations to the business as to what sort of short-term initiatives they can implement. And that has come purely from what the staff have said that they would like to see. So it's very bespoke for the business. It's not just well, this is what we're going to provide you. This is what we suggest that you do, because this is what your staff have said they want to see.
Yes.
And then we'll then implement that, and then we track it. In terms of that implementation, the health and wellbeing delivery team will deliver. It'll probably be sort of 3 or 4 workshops consisting of about an hour or so, like a lunch and learn. So it'll be more of it's not so much like a sales pitch for that delivery team member. It's an education slot. So we'll have our estate planner colleagues to come and talk about the importance of making sure that your estate affairs are in order, your wills, your lasting power of attorney, very important documents, financial planning as well, nutritionists, and then from there, and businesses can either go then straight onto the next program, or they can completely cut out the introduction and go straight into the next program. The next program is referred to as the Health and Wellbeing Champion Program, and this is a 12-month program. I feel like I'm saying program a lot. 12 months, and within that, we'll do the very similar in terms of the introduction if we've not done that introduction stage. And we'll get, it'd be sort of bigger, chunkier initiatives that will be implemented, a whole range of things, like the stuff that I've already mentioned in the intro, but also massages, yoga, Pilates, having awareness courses, like the obviously the stuff that you do, Catherine, because that's obviously very important, that we want to make sure that menopause awareness is really in the workplace, because it's not just the women, as you know, that obviously go through it. It's their partners, their family, the business owners, and they need to know how to deal with it properly and sensitively. And yes, and other health assessments, medical tests, a whole variety of stuff. And we'll provide them with these the sort of champion logos that they can then either use across social media, they can put it on their website, and that clearly sort of highlights that they are health and wellbeing champions, and they're proudly supporting health and wellbeing in the workplace.
Yes, yeah, and so you go quite deep into the process, don't you, with the client, which is similar to what we've been doing as well. And it proves to be so much more effective because, as you say, you're not just talking to the person that you originally linked up with that was interested in what you were doing, but they've brought in other members of the team and members of the staff to discuss it in a more open way so that everybody knows that they're getting what they need, really, rather than somebody just coming in and saying, well, here's the program, off you go, thank you very much, here's my bill. But it's not like that at all, isn't it? It's much more integrated.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And sort of, sort of emphasizing on that fact, it's very bespoke. It's very bespoke for the business.
Yes.
I mean, we've got a whole breadth of different initiatives that we can implement into the business, and not all of them. I guess you'll see more with the 12-month program, but with the shorter sort of the introduction program, that will be very sort of top, what the sort of the top level initiatives were that staff and managers have said that they want to see. And it's going to be very individual, and that's what we saw in the trial. It wasn't just a case of, oh, well, everybody wants the financial planner, and everybody wants estate planning, and everybody wants, the mental health awareness stuff as well. I mean, most there are what's the word? There are reoccurring interest in certain aspects. But it really does vary.
And presumably from that longer program, that's when new things can crop up as well, things they hadn't thought of, because they're developing it as they go along. They say, oh, hang on a minute, this has cropped up, we hadn't considered this. And so that's a good thing too, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it is very much, it's very movable. I mean, obviously, we have to have a structure of a plan for the business, rather than just expecting them to sort of, sign up to a 12-month program without any sort of schedule of events. So there will be stuff, as standard, at least one initiative a month. But we'll be then, we'll be on hand to then chop and change it around as we go.
Yes, that's excellent. Well, I think that's fitted nicely into our slot this morning. I know we spoke a lot more before, but there's always seemed to be so much more to say, doesn't there? But you've got this in a nutshell because it's specific to the health and well-being, and it's an add-on, or it can be separate to your HR services anyway. It can they can run in tandem or be something completely separate, can't it?
Absolutely, and I think that's the key thing. I guess because of the initial target for the sort of audience that we'll be going to with the initiative when we do launch it out properly to the market will be slightly larger organisations than what we normally work with our outsourced HR. But that is obviously mainly for companies that don't have it as an internal resource, whereas the health and wellbeing won't restrict that. It'll be helpful for us to be working with HR directors and heads of HR with this initiative. So and are you able to do that online during this COVID lockdown? Are you still able to progress that a bit? I mean, we're sort of in the process at the moment of getting all of the marketing together, all of the the brochure and stuff, and then I want to be doing a lot of sort of PR and promotion of the program. We're going to be working with some business development teams and stuff as well to really sort of get it out.
The best out of it.
Yeah, we're not quite ready for that at the moment. So to be honest, I think the program won't properly launch until, well,
hopefully we're all back.
How long we're locked down for, but we can live in hope that we're going to be coming out soon. So on that basis, it's likely to launch afterwards.
Yes, excellent. Well, good. We've got some really good information in there, Sophie, for people to think about for their own businesses, and hopefully they'll get in touch with you. Sophie Forrest, ForrestHR. We'll carry on talking, but I'll stop the recording now. Thank you everybody for watching this interview this morning, and we'll be back shortly with more.